a before picture of the roof. Now I'm probably going to be roasted for this, but when I first looked at the roof at the dealership, I didn't think it looked that bad. I mean, yes, it's dirty, but I figured it was from, sitting there neglected for a while. When I looked at the seals, they looked like they were in pretty good shape. They weren't peeling or cracking, and there were no obvious visible signs of damage or locations where the leaks would be coming from. So the first thing I thought I would do is remove the antenna. There's no TV in the RV and I don't plan on putting one in. So I just felt like this was something that I didn't need and would be the easiest thing to take care of first. Before you can remove the antenna from the roof, you have to take apart the crank assembly from inside of the RV. So at this point, everything's coming apart as expected and going well, so I thought I was off to a good start and that this would be an easy project. So then I get up onto the roof and I'm thinking I'm pretty smart with my hair dryer and handy putty knife, and that I would take a few minutes to peel up the sealant, but I quickly found out that it's not as easy as I thought it would be. And this is when reality started to set in that this was going to be a longer project than I thought. It took me almost an hour just to get the sealant off of this one unit up on the roof, and it was very tedious and time consuming, and it was quite difficult to remove all of the sealant. I was finally able to get to the screws and they came out really easily, and then I was able to pry the antenna off of the roof, but what was left over was this really thick, hard, goopy mess of sealant that was really difficult to remove.
One eternity later.
It took me a really long time to get all of that old glue and sealant off, but I was finally able to get the area cleaned up, and I then took some marine grade adhesive and a piece of metal roof flashing to create a patch over the holes, which I then finished off with some Eternal Bond tape all the way around all four sides. I was happy to be done with the antenna, but honestly, it was really daunting to think about how much work was left to do. But then a miracle happened. I went to Home Depot the next day and picked up this Ryobi 1 multi-tool, and it totally saved the day. It just went through the sealant like butter, and I was even able to get my daughter to help for a little bit. Probably wouldn't recommend this tool if you have a rubber or fiberglass roof, as it could cause some damage, but since the Lazy Daze is an aluminum roof, this tool worked absolutely great. I spent the next couple of days removing the rest of the rooftop units and all of the old sealant from the roof. That's when I found the culprit hiding underneath the air conditioner. It looks like at some point they had some significant damage and they just didn't do a very good repair job, and I believe this is where most of the leaking comes from. We had some really nice hot weather, so I decided to leave the roof open for about a week just to give it a lot of time to air out and dry out as much as possible before sealing it back up. I won't bore you with a bunch of videos of me installing units back in, but I ended up putting in a couple of max air fans and a skylight and resealing all of the edges and seams with Eternal Bond tape. I decided to go with the Crazy Seal brand of roof sealant. It's a silicone-based system that gets painted on, and the first step is to pressure wash the entire surface, and then they have a specific cleaner that they recommend using to scrub the roof with, and it removes any sort of leftover solvents or oils or residue from the surface. After letting the roof thoroughly dry, I taped up all of the edges and anything I didn't want painted, and then started cutting in with their product called Crazy Patch, which is an extra thick substance that goes over any existing sealant and over all of the edges. This was my very favorite part, actually painting the Crazy Seal onto the surface. It was so satisfying and exciting to see the roof transform from this old neglected surface into this bright, clean, brand new surface. I mean, look at it. It looks like a brand new roof. It looks great already, and it's just the first coat. I let it dry overnight and went back up the next morning with my yellow hospital socks and painted on the second coat, which went on a lot easier than the first coat. It probably only took me about 15 minutes to get the second coat on. Oh, and by the way, I left the air conditioner off at this point because I wanted to be able to seal all the way around the air conditioner. However, the unit actually overhangs so much of the opening, and I ended up installing it after I was done sealing the roof. So here's the final product. It looks like a completely different roof, doesn't it? I'm really happy with Crazy Seal. It was relatively easy to put on, and it also comes with a 50-year warranty, so I feel pretty confident that I won't have to worry about leaks for a long time, and hopefully we'll never have to do this ever again. Well, there you have it. Thank you so much for staying all the way to the very end and watching this whole video. I really appreciate it. And also, thank you so much to those of you that have left such kind, supportive comments. I read all of them, and they mean so much to me. I've been truly overwhelmed by how supportive and caring and encouraging everybody has been. It really helps motivate me to keep going with this RV and keep sharing it with you. And now that the roof is done, I get to move on to the inside. And so I hope you come back and tune in and check out what I'm able to do down there. And until then, I'll see you later.